Welcome back to the Less Doing podcast. I'm Ari Mizell, and I teach entrepreneurs how to become more replaceable. We want you to be able to focus on what you do best, have the flexibility to work where, when, and how you want, and the freedom to leave the business if you so choose without it crumbling in your absence. And we want that to be a pervasive mentality throughout your organization. One of the things that has always driven me, it's been the absolute foundation and basis for the Less Doing system of productivity, is the idea of optimizing, automating, and outsourcing. Now, outsourcing is always the last step. We always want to involve people at the end once we've figured out a system that is clear and automated what we can before we give it to a person. But all of that has always seemed more prevalent in the business world. And what I want to talk about today is the argument, the case, the necessity for using outsourced help in your personal life. And this is not something that is limited to people who are extremely successful, or, it's not lifestyles of the rich and famous. These are the things that can really help remove the obstacles from what you do so that you can do more of the things that you need to do to bring you more success. And one of the things that's huge for the way that we teach, as opposed to some other systems out there, is I don't help entrepreneurs find more opportunities. I don't help them create more opportunities. We work with entrepreneurs who have opportunity that exceeds their infrastructure. It exceeds their team's ability to get things done in an efficient manner. So while I'm not helping you create opportunities, I am making sure that you can take advantage of all the opportunities that you have created through your own success. And again, one of the ways that we need to do that is by outsourcing and delegating in our personal life. So we use various virtual assistant help, various outsourced help, from graphic designers to coders, website designers, Facebook ads people, you name it. But at the end of the day, the one that we use the most is the sort of jack of all trades, the VA, or virtual assistant. And for those who are not necessarily familiar with the concept, because I know that not everybody is, a virtual assistant is a person, a real person somewhere in the world. They could be in the next town over from you. They could be across the country or across the ocean. And they can do any of the sort of admin, general kind of stuff that any reasonably intelligent person might be able to do for you. They just don't happen to be located where you are located. That is what makes a virtual assistant. So on a given week, we will do several dozen hours of work that we give off to virtual assistants for the business. And this goes everything from managing our event logistics and getting invitations out, ordering workbooks, dealing with our customer journey and helping people along the way through that, research, booking travel, reconciling expenses, organizing team communications, you name it. We are using virtual assistant help constantly. And it's one of the reasons why, as a team of 4, we've been able to grow this business so big, relatively speaking, and so fast, because we have dozens, if not hundreds, of outsourced providers at our disposal at any given time, which can expand and contract as we need it. Now, I probably do just as much time with the virtual assistants in my personal life as I do in the business. And that is not a luxury that I have because of the success that we've garnered. I think that the success that I've garnered is in a lot of ways a byproduct of me offloading a lot of the stuff that I shouldn't be doing. But the problem where I think people get really hung up is there's no ROI, there's no return on investment when you pay a virtual assistant to do something in your personal life. If you look at the business and you say like, oh, we're going to have the VA doing work at $35 an hour so that my CFO, who is hundreds of dollars an hour, if you want to bring it down, doesn't have to do those things. Very clear ROI, really easy to justify that. But in your own life, when you say like, oh, I'm going to have a virtual assistant book a doctor's appointment for me, but why should I pay for that? It doesn't make sense. Oh, I'll just do it myself. And that is where people get hung up. And it's a trap that we put ourselves in. So I have 4 small children. And just recently, the virtual assistants did all of the camp registrations for the summer for my kids. They filled out all the forms. They coordinated with the doctors to get the medical forms signed. They signed all the different contracts. They did the payments. They took care of everything. And if I really had to think about it, it's probably 3, 4, maybe 5 hours of actual work. But worse than that, it would probably take my attention for upwards of a week, Because if I'm sending a form and then I have to wait for someone to get back to me and make sure that they did get back to me and make sure I didn't drop the ball, and then if I have to go to the doctor and make sure they fill out the form, but they don't get back to me in 2 days, I have to go back to it after that. It takes so much of my attention that there's a multiplier effect there. But at the end of the day, it doesn't show my family more love if I fill out those forms myself. It doesn't show them that it can be done better because I'm not going to do form filling better than anybody else might. And what happens when I offload that time, and more importantly, I offload that attention to someone like a virtual assistant, what I end up doing with that time and attention is putting it into my business when I need it, and then I'm able to be present with my family when I'm with them. Nobody wants to think that they have to do all this stuff during the day and be super productive and then come home and deal with a bunch of stuff. And as an entrepreneur and as a human being, we are the same person, the same physical meat, whether you're at home or you're at your business. There is no separation. There is no such thing as work-life balance. It is a work-life integration because you're the same person. So what difference does it make if I'm saving you time at work versus saving you time at home? I would argue that the time at home, when things are not going well, when you're dealing with things that are logistical nightmares, actually pull your attention a lot more than the things at work because it's a lot harder to compartmentalize those things. So the next time you find yourself wondering, oh, how am I going to deal with, these forms or paying these bills or finding out the best class to put my kid in or finding a tutor or booking a family trip and looking at all the options and planning all those things and making sure that everybody has the right arrangements and the tickets and everything lines up. The next time that daunting task comes to you, think about how you could pay a modest rate to have somebody take those things completely off your plate and then be able to focus your attention where you want it, wherever that might be. So don't ever think again about saving time at home, not having a return on investment, because I would argue that for most entrepreneurs, it has an even greater return on investment than any of the investments you might make directly into your business. To find out more about how we use virtual assistants on a regular basis, you can check out our blog on Medium. If you go to Medium and the username is @AriMeisel, we regularly write blogs about the top tasks that we've outsourced to VAs over the month, among other things that we're doing to outsource in general. And if you want to get started on your own outsourcing journey and learn how it can be effective in your business, go to less.do/foundations. And we'll give you a free 5-part mini course to show you what this path to replaceability could look like for you.